Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of Real Life Matters. Of course, I am your host, DBoss, and I just want to thank the people who have been doing their 50 minutes or more of laughing every day, because that helps keep you looking youthful. It keeps you lower the blood pressure. It helps tone the abs. It helps you what the day that you put out is how you're going to receive. People are going to receive you. It also has a lot of effects, health benefits to laughing. It could heal your body, all types of stuff, not meaning that you're going to stop taking your medication or anything like that. But you could just do that, and don't tell me that you don't have anybody to laugh with, because you really don't need anybody to laugh with to do this. You could just call somebody, you can watch something, and it's for all ages. So just don't limit yourself. Oh, it's only for these people of a certain age group, because everybody can laugh. You can get your whole family involved, your kids, your mom, your in-laws, whoever you want involved. Even at your work, you can get people involved. So let's do some laughing for about 15 to 20 minutes, and you're going to see how everybody feels better. But today I have a special guest that's here, and he writes different children's novels and books, and we're going to find out all about the stuff that he does, and all the wonderful things that is incorporated in his daily life, how he's got started, what happened in his journey. So we're going to get into all that right after one of our sponsors, Vital Steps to Vital Health and Fitness. Here we go.
Welcome to your vital steps to better health and fitness. I'm Joanne James. Today we're going to talk about the effects of no exercise on the muscles. Many people are spending a lot of time sitting at their desk and not exercising, as well as the internet has taken people out of the exercise realm and into sitting down and playing games on their phones. There's a major detriment to not exercising. When you don't exercise, your muscles become weak, and that impacts your bones. So now you have both weak muscles and weak bones. The other problem is you lose strength, and the daily activities that you like to do become more difficult. So it's important to be doing some form of exercise to keep the muscles toned. And thirdly, your body composition will change. You will end up getting more body fat and less muscle mass, which then tends to be unattractive, and you lose energy and you become more fatigued. So do yourself a favor. Get into a great exercise routine. Find somebody who can put you on a great program. Your body's going to love it. I'm Joanne James, and this has been your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. Take care.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for that health tip, Joanne James. With that, everybody, you have to take time out to make sure you move around a bit. Everybody's, at the computers all day, all with the technology and all that stuff. So it's very important for everybody to, to do that. Move around, every 15, 20 minutes or so, 20 half hour, get up and do something, walk around, stretch those limbs, just do something, even though you could do exercise also. But back to our person here, and we're going to get right into it with him. He does these different novels, and they're very interesting. So we're going to find out, as I said earlier, all about his journey, where he's come from, and everything else. So with no further ado, introduce to you Derek Mascarenhas.
Hi, DBoss.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good. Well, I welcome you. And here at Real Life Matters, we like to know where everybody's culture and their background, where they come from.
Sure. Yeah. So right now I'm physically in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
But my background, my parents emigrated from India, from Goa specifically.
Okay.
Goa, India.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So because you never know, people might want to know, well, where's he come from? So that's how we also connect. All right. So what got you on your journey of doing these books? So what made you? What inspired you to start this?
Yeah, I've had a bit of a winding journey into this book life. It started honestly as a kid. I always loved stories. I loved reading. I love stories both in terms of books, but then also in terms of like the oral stories that you hear from older relatives, and about a place like back home that I hadn't actually visited, or I visited when I was too young to remember them. But
Okay.
hearing those stories, they would just gave so much to me, and they formed a picture in my mind of what this place called home was. And then I kind of had a bit of a falling out of love with stories. I growing up in a suburb outside of Toronto, and the stories that I was exposed to, I didn't really see myself in them. It's a different curriculum now than it was back then, but
Okay.
a lot of the stories I didn't really connect to. It was only later, and I think in university, that I started kind of reading and finding those stories that I really connected to and I really saw myself in, and then I kind of fell back into love with stories. So um, I've written now almost three books. The third one is coming out soon. But my first book was an adult book of short stories. It's right here. It's called Coconut Dreams. And
Oh, I
yeah,
was thinking, well, maybe in the Caribbean or something. So tell us a little bit about that one.
yeah. So this one is it's an adult story, but it's written mostly from the perspective of two siblings as they grow up in a suburb, Burlington, Ontario. But it also, the first story is set in Goa, India, and the last story is set in Goa, India. But then most of everything between is set in the suburb. And
Okay.
yeah, we watch as the children age and they get into all kinds of hijinks, and it alternates between the brother and sister. And yeah, the coconut flavor
It's a
comes
name,
in.
Coconut Dream. So what made you want to name it Coconut Dreams?
Yeah, so coconut trees are they're everywhere in Goa. Coconuts hold such a vital place in that culture, and
Okay.
many cultures. I'm sure in the Caribbean as well. But every part of the
Yes,
coconut tree.
well, definitely.
Yeah, for
So you guys
sure.
have coconut trees out in India too, or
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So
okay,
Goa is situated on the western coast, so it has a similar like feel, almost like a almost I'd say almost like an island feel, where it's on the coast. It's tropical, and yeah. So the coconut tree was plays a part in the book. There's coconuts featured, but yeah, it and then the dreams part is too. These two kids are kind of dreaming of this land, which they hadn't in the book, they hadn't been to yet, and then they eventually do get there. And yeah, so
okay.
that came out in 2019.
So how long? How many pages is this book, or is it?
So this is, I'll have to double check. It's been around yeah around 250.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, and it's available. You can still purchase it and stuff like that, right?
yeah, yeah. Definitely still available for purchase. And then after that, so that was 2019. I transitioned a bit. I moved into children's books,
Okay.
and my next book. Let me just grab it here. So this one is called 100 Chapatis, and
Chapatis. Okay.
yeah, and it's basically about a little boy named Simon, and he's with his papa, or his grandfather, and they're waiting for a baby to be born. The first question is like, when will the baby come? So they're waiting from a call from the
Ah,
hospital, from the parents who are there, and Simon keeps asking, like, when will the baby come? Like, and then the grandfather says like, oh, it takes time, but then like, how long? And then eventually the grandfather just says, it'll I'm going I feel like I'm going the opposite way here, but yeah, 100 chapatis long. So then they go about and make 100 chapatis together.
so what's chapatis for people that don't know what it is?
Yeah, so chapatis is like it's a flatbread, similar to or like almost like a roti, or
Okay.
yeah, um yeah, so
So,
they I
so
had
the grandfather makes those breads. Wow, because usually it's the woman. So what did he do? Make one chapati for every day or something, or does he just?
So the grandfather says to Simon that him and the grandmother, when before Simon was born, they actually made 100 chapatis to part of it is to get ready for when the
The
baby
baby.
comes. Yeah, there won't be time to cook, and it'll be busy, so they made 100 chapatis
That's a
to
good one.
get ready. And so in this one, the grandfather and Simon go about making 100 chapatis. Um, and in the beginning, Simon is a bit worried about like, oh, will a baby kind of eat all the chapatis, will the baby like take all my toys and things like that. But towards the end, Simon is actually
So that's his
excited.
first. That's his first sibling from
Yeah,
him. Okay,
yeah,
so he's worried about what's going on now.
yeah.
So there's somebody. So how old is he? Is this character that the one that is in the 100 Chapatis?
um, the book is for well, the book is I think like a 3 to 8 range.
Okay,
I'd say he's around 5. I don't think specifically
yeah, an
put
age,
a
right?
age on him, but
Okay,
yeah, he's around like 5 or 6 years old, I think.
okay, okay. So he wants to know when the baby's coming, what's going to be happening when this baby. You
Yeah,
see everybody running around, but and that's a good topic to write about too, because a lot of kids want to know, well, what's happening? When's this baby supposed to come? Every day the baby's coming.
yeah. It's a big change, right?
I remember when the parents used to tell us, the babies came from the storks, and everybody believed
Yeah,
they would just come and the baby be delivered in the stork's mouth and said, here
yeah,
it is.
yeah. I remember seeing cartoons of the stork. Like, yeah,
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 yeah. People told them that that's where they came from. They came from
yeah,
the storks.
yeah.
So those storks were pretty busy
For sure.
back in
Yeah.
those. No, but we really did think it came from there.
Hmm.
Even though you saw your mother, but then they said when the baby comes, the stork's gonna deliver it.
Yeah, it's amazing how many of those like things
Yeah.
persist and they get carried on. And as a kid, you don't you that's all if that's all you've been told, then that's what you believe, right?
Yes. Well, you believe a lot of things.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That they told you all kinds of things that you say, okay, oh, okay. Well, I guess so. If that's it, it is. It is. All right. So the last one, and you have a little diagram of it here.
yeah. So I don't the next book. It's called The Mango Monster, and unfortunately, I don't actually have the book yet. It should come in the next like few days or week, but it's
Okay.
published on September 15th. I have a launch here in Toronto on September 22nd at another story bookshop. But I do have if you're able to. Oh, perfect. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. So yeah, this book is called The Mango Monster. It's a really fun book. It's about these two cousins, so Marianne and Zoe.
Two cousins.
Yeah, and what they do is so they've been waiting all year for the mango season, all year for the mangoes to get ready, and but then when the mango season comes, they notice that the tree has been picked over, like there's some mangoes missing, and it's a neighbor who says, "Oh, it could be a mango monster," and so the yeah
That's not no man.
yeah.
Everybody loves mangoes. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that's yeah cross cultural for sure. Um, and so yeah, the girls set out to try and catch the mango monster. At first, they spread some ash around, trying to see the footprints, but no, it's not. It's not the monster footprints. Then they try and attach some bells, and the bells go off. Then and then like the squirrel sets a bell off, and um, yeah, and then they try
Wow.
and put pots up in the branches, and still the monkeys end up setting that one off, not the mango monster. And I won't ruin the
No,
ending.
because they
But
don't want
yeah,
to.
yeah, but they set all three traps and go to bed, and yeah, I'll leave it there. And but
All right.
you have to
Find out when they go to bed, when they wake up, what happened.
yes, yes.
That's a good mango monster. Well, I think everybody has, if they have mango trees in their properties all over the world, people like to find out who the mango monster is, because I think the monkeys liked it too. The monkeys like it. People like it. A lot of
Yeah,
the different people, squirrels that come up on it, or it drops them off, or maybe they're running on it and it just boof comes
yeah,
off.
yeah.
What's or it's just people
It's just yeah,
taking.
for sure.
If the tree's over on a main street or a street, people just oh,
Yeah, as they pass, yeah. But yeah,
and
it's
it's so much things you can do with mangoes, and mangoes are so good for you too. So
for sure, for sure.
a
It's
lot of fiber.
it's a bit of a different book because it's a mystery. So the girls are trying to problem solve and like figure out. They set traps, they don't work, and then they have to set another trap. And but it's also like a really fun book, and it teaches about sharing. Like the girls see that how many creatures the mango tree provides for, and
Right.
yeah, that they sharing is kind of the theme of the book as well.
Okay. So what are you working on? Are you working on anything else after this?
Yeah, I have a novel in the works. It's still a couple of years away, but it's a speculative fiction novel, which is a bit different than my last one. It that one was more realist, but this one is a speculative fiction novel. It's tentatively titled Beyond the Banyans,
Okay.
and then I'm working on a middle grade book. So I've done adult and I've done picture books, but yeah, so the two kind of extremes. But now I'm I guess going in a little bit beyond picture books, so middle grade, which is a bit older in range.
So when you're thinking of these books, like where do you go and think up these ideas of a book? It just well, I'm gonna write something about a mango monster
Yeah, you know what?
or a coconut dream. Like where do they come from? The
Yeah,
creativity.
you know what, the kids books they tend to come from like the 100 chapatis. My mom actually made 100 chapatis before. I think it was before my sister or my brother, I can't remember who. But she made them. So that was like always a story that I'd heard in the
Okay.
background, and this is a different story, but it's that was kind of the inspiration behind that one. And then the mango monster, I had I have two nephews, and they're at the children's, like the picture book age group, and they live in the suburbs. So anytime I'd come back from Toronto, I'd bring mangoes with me, and the nephews would just devour the mangoes. Like
Oh my
yeah, they, and so we like playfully called them like little mango monsters, and,
Oh
so that
wow.
there's something about that name, like Mango Monster. It literally got like stuck in my head, and like yeah, eventually a story, like I know when something like gets stuck there, eventually a story will hopefully come out with a lot of hard work and editing and all of the wonderful long things that writing entails. But yeah, so that one, it was inspired by my nephews and their that instance.
Wow. All right. So, are there any type of shadows that you want to give your people that's been supporting you over all this time doing your novels?
Yeah, I think I'll say this. I teach creative writing as well, and I always say to my students, like it takes a village to raise a writer as well.
Right.
There's so many, like family obviously first, and so many writing friends, and because it's a iterative process. Like it's such a um, process where you need feedback, you need to keep revising, and most of writing is rewriting. So all of my writing support network, for the picture books, I would be remiss to not shout out the two illustrators and my publisher. So um, this one was illustrated by Chantella Robinson. She's an
Okay.
illustrator out on the West Coast, and Mango Monster is illustrated by Minika Repka. She's on Vancouver Island, and yeah, I was very privileged to work with two just amazing illustrators who really brought the picture books to life. And my publisher for both of those books is Owl Kids here in Canada.
Well, and it's important for these illustrators to understand what's in your mind for these. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They play a big role because no, that's not exactly what I'm seeing.
yeah. Honestly, that was for the picture books. That was honestly one of the most enjoyable parts, is seeing the word, because it's just I what I give them is like very bare, it's just words, and then they come back with like just these. It really brings the story to life. So
Yeah.
yeah, just very lucky to have worked with just two amazing illustrators.
Yeah, because they got to make sure that you understand the message, and then that the child level they understand what it's looking and what it's saying, and it's
Yeah,
big enough that they can see it and know what it means.
yeah, and they both brought something. Like they bring things that I didn't envision when I'd written the book. Like for I'm thinking in 100 Chapatis, there's a black cat in there, and nowhere in the text, like I had said, like, oh, there's this black cat in every page that gets up to all these antics, and um, but the illustrator added it, and now I can't envision the picture book without that black cat because it just adds so much to the story.
Ah!
Um, yeah,
That's the cat that's listening to tell
yeah,
this, to tell the little boy something. You know what? You better listen.
yeah, for sure.
We're
And
gonna
then
be here.
Mango Monster, it happened again because the illustrator added this purple tail into it's subtle. It's in every almost
Episode.
every page. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I hadn't said like, oh, add this like purple tail, but
Yeah, they added it in. Yeah, because I guess it's a theme, so
yeah,
something mystic behind it.
yeah.
That's why.
And when I, you know what, when I read it, I've read it a few times to children, and it's so interesting because they love like spotting the purple tail. It's almost like this Where's Waldo type thing where the
Ah!
yeah,
There it is.
yeah. And again, I didn't like put that in the text. I hadn't envisioned it, but the illustrator brought that, and it just worked out so beautifully.
All right. So, if people want to keep up with you on your social medias, where can they find you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and a bunch of. So my handle is DPMASCA, DPMASCA,
Okay.
and my website derekmascarenas.ca. You can find all my info about events and books and everything else there. And yeah, that's mainly where people and bookstore, libraries, anywhere that you find books. The Coconut Dreams is also an audiobook now.
Oh,
Um,
okay. That's good.
so yeah, so the two I don't know what you call them. I guess the folks who narrated the book
Yeah.
on the audiobook, they did such an amazing job. So again, speaking of the collaborator, like the book really comes to life with the audio as well. But yeah, it's also in physical form and in as an ebook too.
All right. So you can get them on Amazon or
Yeah,
okay.
anywhere basically
Okay.
books are sold. Yeah.
All right. Well, I encourage everybody to go out there and get the books for you. They're different. I like different. Different is good. It's not the same thing. It's something different. Well, no spaceship or something. It's something with actual culture and things that people actually do and think about. But sometimes you don't know how to tell your kids something. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
for sure. When I was speaking earlier, how like growing up, I never would have. There was no picture books about chapatis or mangoes or. So I'm really glad for the next generation they'll be able to see themselves in stories and see elements of their culture represented in fiction and stories. So yeah, very happy.
well, it's been a pleasure, Derek. I wish you all the success with all the books on the net. And when you got some other books, just come on and let us know.
Oh
Again, so you come back and welcome you back. But look out because he's doing the children's books. And the other books that he has. So everybody, just go up there, support, because everybody has kids at home, and now everybody's going close to going back to school or into school. They need those other things to keep them a little bit busy.
yeah, for sure. And thank you, DBoss. It's a pleasure speaking with you and discussing with these books, my journey with you as well. So thank you.
Yes, and the journey continues on. So everybody, on that note, good night and bye for now.